Hey folks, how are you? Matt Peralt back with you here on playpicks.com. It is time to pick some upsets. What we love are upsets, right? Moneyline teams to bet on in round number 1 of the NCAA tournament. This is going to be a great tournament, a lot of fun, and why not be a part of it? If you're in New Jersey, we got some great offers coming up for you. We've got some exclusive links to get the best sign-up offers anywhere for March Madness. So look at here, $25 on DraftKings right here. Bam. Playpicks.com/bonus, $25 from DraftKings right there. How about BetStars? $500 right there. BetStars, risk-free wager, $500. Same thing, FanDuel, $500, risk-free. For the video and trying to make it as quickly as possible and not really go crazy and bore you, we're going to do DraftKings and we're going to do FanDuel for our sportsbook. So DraftKings, FanDuel here, both these two books we're going to go with here for us during this video. So I got 5 games I want to talk about. I told you on another video leading into the dance, talking about how to bet on the dance, I talked about 3 categories I like looking at: effective field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and defensive efficiency. So those are 3 stats I look at when I start breaking down games, in particular when it comes to betting on money lines and taking upsets. Okay, let's start with the national champs and Villanova. Villanova taking on St. Mary's. Look, Villanova is a team that's very good, but the Big East, I'm just not jumping up and down about. I love the coach, okay? I really do love Jay Wright and the national champs, but just something is not right now with the Big East and the Pac-12. I am fading hard, except for one team in the Pac-12, but I'm fading pretty hard almost the entire 2 conferences in this tournament. So let's start with St. Mary's here. They are laying 5.5 right now over at DraftKings. If you want to look at a money line here, it's plus 200 for a money line. Plus 200, I like that. A little bit less of a money line, plus 175 here on FanDuel. But for me, I really look at this as an opportunity to hop on early, a team that a lot of people are going to say, oh, defending champs, Villanova. Well, St. Mary's looked very, very good in the West Coast Conference tournament here, beating Gonzaga. And there's a couple of things I want to look at here. So I go to teamrankings.com. This is where I get a lot of my information, and they have a really cool thing set up where it's a head-to-head. And I kind of go back and forth and look at this a lot. And, okay, so let's go to the stats I love. Effective field goal percentage, okay? St. Mary's, top 50 in the country, okay? Same thing for Villanova, 53.4 for Villanova, okay? So that's, 64 is not horrible for them. 3-point percentage, St. Mary's, 37.8. That's 33rd in the country. You go over to Villanova, 35.3%, 121st in the country. That's not Villanova basketball, okay? Villanova is not scoring the way Villanova normally scores. They're outside the top 100 when it comes to scoring, and on the other side, points per game, St. Mary's can play defense. Top 25 in the country, only 64.4 points given up per game for St. Mary's. I also look at 3-point defense, 31.8%. That's 45th in the country for St. Mary's. I like St. Mary's here to upset Villanova. I don't think the Big East was a tough conference this year. I think Nova's got some issues. Their leadership, their rebounding is not great. I'm going to roll with St. Mary's here, an experienced team that looked very good in the West Coast Conference, playing with a lot of confidence, and they've been sitting and resting as well, which I really like. These 2 teams played before in the NCAA tournament, and it was won by St. Mary's back in 2010, I believe it was. So I think it's going to be a repeat of that. I'll take St. Mary's outright to win here. Go get the plus 200 coming up on with DraftKings. Go get the plus 200 money for the NCAA tournament. Okay, next, and this one might be a little bit controversial. Let's go to Northeastern and Kansas. All right, here's Northeastern. They are getting plus 255. I love the value there. Plus 255 at DraftKings. If you go over and take a look at it here at FanDuel, plus 250 on the money line for FanDuel, plus 7. So this is a Kansas team against Northeastern, only laying 7. That tells you a little bit about how the books are evaluating Northeastern. This is a team that's not getting a lot of attention, and they probably should get a lot of attention. All right, let's look at the numbers. Effective field goal percentage, 57.2, 5th best in the country. Love it. Look at Kansas, 100th. They're 100 in that category. Ugh, not good at all. You look at defense here. Northeastern does not play defense. So how are they going to beat Kansas? They got to outshoot them. And Kansas is not a great three-point shooting team, okay? Kansas right now, look at KU, 35%. It's 136th in the country. They've got athletes. They've got size. But here's the great equalizer. Northeastern three-point shooting. It's a make-or-miss game, boys and girls, and this is a make-or-miss game. Northeastern hits threes. They can knock out Kansas. 38.8% from behind the arc. It's 14th best in the country. If they're going to hit shots like that, they got a chance to knock out Kansas. Look, the game, if you want to take the number and just take +7, I love that too, but we're talking about Moneyline here in games that could be outright shocking. Bucknell, Bradley, Northern Iowa, teams that have bounced Kansas early in the in the NCAA tournament. I think Northeastern might be the next team. There's rumors about Bill Self potentially looking at the NBA. Maybe he's not going anywhere, but he might be looking at it and he might be interested. I think Northeastern is primed to upset Kansas here. I love what is going on here for kind of a little guy, not getting a lot of attention in the Northeast part of the country, but they can shoot the three. They've got great effective field goal percentage. They don't play defense a lick, but it's the three-point shot. If they can hit a bunch of threes, they can knock out Kansas. So first, St. Mary's at +175, Northeastern at +255 for our first two picks. The third pick here is a little bit of a, I don't think I'm going to wow anybody by picking Murray State over Marquette. Again, I told you I'm fading the Big East like crazy. Here's Marquette getting laying 4.5 against Murray State. +165 here for a team out of the OVC. Okay, let's look at just stats here from scoring. Marcus Howard is 6th in the country at 25 points per game. Look who he's playing. He's playing a guy who also, Jay Morant, playing 24.6 points per game. These are two of the top 8 best scorers in college basketball. These guys can really, really fill it up, and this is going to be a ball. Neither team plays much defense. As we can see here, 81.6 points per game for Murray State, 10th best in the country, 77.7 points per game for Marquette. That's 48th best in the country. Points. Up and down they're going to go. Effective field goal percentage, 55.2 for Murray State. It's 21st. 54.1 for Marquette. That's 46th. Both are very, very good. Three-point shot, though, is interesting, okay? Murray State does not shoot a three very well at all. 34.4%. That's 168th. Other side, Marquette, bingo, 39.3%. That's 9th best in the country. They do shoot the three really well, and that's going to be a big thing. But look at what Murray State does. They defend the three really well. They're 4th best in the country, 28.5%. They've got long wing defenders. They're going to get out, put their hands up. If Marquette doesn't score, and by the way, that means this guy, Marcus Howard, he has to score. If they shut down Marcus Howard, which I think they're going to be able to do, I don't like teams that are only built around one guy, but they're both playing each other. Murray State and Marquette are both very similar. I think Murray State pulls the upset here. I don't think Marquette is all that great. I think they stumbled down the stretch a little bit when they played teams that have really high effective field goal percentage like Creighton. They should have lost the first matchup in Omaha. They did lose the second matchup in Milwaukee. I like Murray State outright to beat Marquette. Okay, fourth game we're going to look at. UC Irvine getting to play in California, which is big, up against Kansas State, who could be without Dean Wade, their best player. Here, look at the numbers, +170 on the money line at FanDuel. Kansas State laying the 4.5 over at DraftKings. As I scroll through here, same thing, -4.5. +170, so a little more value over here, +175, a little more value at DraftKings. Both +170 on the money line. UC Irvine is going to play two centers in this game. They're a different type of team. I talked to their head coach on my radio program on SB Nation Radio, Russell Turner. And look, they pride themselves on defense. It's going to be a rock fight. Look at the total, 119.5, okay? 119.5 is a pathetically low total in this game, and it's probably going to go under. These two teams kind of mirror each other when it comes to their overall stats. And I am somebody who, when you look at Irvine, here, points per game, K-State giving up 59.2. That's third best in the country. How about UC Irvine? 63.6. 17th best in the country. Neither team scores. K-State really doesn't score. They're 309th in the country in scoring. Yikes. And that's without Dean Wade potentially. With that foot injury, if he's not able to go or he's not 100%, That is horrible news. Horrible news for Kansas State. 72.5% for UC Irvine. Both teams are kind of iffy on effective field goal percentage, 49.5 and 51.4 outside of the top 130 for both these teams, also the top 200 for Kansas State. 3-point percentage, neither team really shoots all that well, but I think a healthy UC Irvine team will grind it down. They like playing this style of basketball. It's the perfect matchup for UC Irvine. There's going to be tons of fans there in California for them. Kansas State coming off of the Big 12. I think they are ripe for an upset. UC Irvine, the Anteaters, get it done at plus 170 on the money line. And finally, and maybe this isn't that big of an upset here for me to go ahead and pick, but I'm taking Oregon and Wisconsin. Oregon and Wisconsin, two teams out of power conferences, but I really think that this Oregon team could be one to watch. I think this Oregon team has the chance to make a run here, given their draw, coming off of 4 straight victories here in Vegas for the Pac-12 tournament. And look, Dana Altman knows how to coach in these tournaments. He took Oregon to the Final Four in 2017. You got Oregon getting a point here on DraftKings, minus 104 versus minus 114. It's a 5-12 matchup, though. So, I mean, technically, it would be an upset if Oregon comes in with the victory. Same thing here at FanDuel, plus 1 for Oregon, plus 105 on the money line. So you can get a little more value. A little more value here at FanDuel, where you're getting some plus money on Oregon here, so I would take it there. But just looking at the numbers, I mean, Oregon is a team that I really like a lot. I mean, they're led by a great point guard. They have a great head coach, and they play defense. I mean, Wisconsin cannot score. Okay, 69.1%. That's 253rd in the country. They can't score. And then Oregon plays great defense, 62.9, 15th best in the country. I think Oregon will score enough to get the victory. I don't think it's going to be a fun basketball game. I think, again, it's going to be a rock fight. Just look at the total here of 117.5. That's ridiculous. Both teams play great defense. But I think with a money line, go to FanDuel and get that plus 105 from an Oregon perspective. So to recap, the 5 picks I'm making on money lines for the first round of the NCAA tournament, I like St. Mary's plus the 175, taking on Villanova with the victory. Northeastern plus the 255 against Kansas. Murray State plus 165 against Marquette, taking UC Irvine to get a victory. I think UC Irvine's a team that could actually stick around for a little while. I mean, they're going to be I love teams that play defense. They're plus 170 in Oregon at plus 105, taking on Wisconsin. Remember, you're going to go over here to playpicks.com/bonus. You're going to go and get some of the best and most exclusive offers for the March Madness anywhere on the internet. DraftKings, $25, no deposit needed. Go ahead and play that for free. BetStars, $500 risk-free wager. FanDuel also a $500 risk-free wager. So have fun with the first round. We've got more videos. Hit subscribe if you haven't hit subscribe yet. Tell me what upsets you like. Tell me if I'm crazy. Tell me if you like some of my picks here for the Moneyline plays for the NCAA tournament. Stick with us. Subscribe. Tell me what you think. More to come. I'm Matt Peralt. Stick with us for the tournament. Our coverage here on PlayPicks.com.